Here is a number machine. So part A, work out the output when the input is 14. So input is 14, output is X. Very simple, just put it into a calculator. 14 times 10, this you plus with 6. Our answer is 146. Part B. Here is a different number machine. When the input is 11 and output is 64, write the number on the dotted line to complete the number machine. Right, so the input is 11 and the output is 64. This would be our X. We're going to go the reverse way. We're going to do this 64 minus 9 equals to X. No, it does not equal to X, sorry. It would equal to, let's say, a different variable Y. So when Y is divided by X, we get 11. Y is easy, we can find what Y is. Y is 64 minus 9, which is 55. Therefore, 55 divided by X, you get 11. So what divided by X you get? What number you divide by 55, you would get 11. X would be 5. Therefore, our missing number is 5. On to question 10. Right, so question 10. There are 30 counters in a bag. 13 of the counters are purple, 11 of the counters are white, the rest of the counters are red. Suha takes at random a counter from the bag. Write down the probability that the counter is purple. Let's use purple. So we know out of the total of 30, 13 of them are purple. Therefore, the probability of Suha taking out a purple would be 13 out of 30 counters. So work out the probability that the counter is red. So for red, we're going to do one more step extra. 30, which is the total, we're going to minus off 13, which are purple, and 11, which are white. So the remainder would be the total number of red, which is 6. Therefore, there will be a total of 6 out of 30. The probability of taking red would be 6 out of 30 counters. So for part C, the counter is put back into the bag. So all the counters go back into the bag. That means it's 30 out of 30. Cliff now puts 10 more counters into the bag. Therefore, it was 30 out of 30. Now it becomes 40 out of 40. When a counter is taken at random from the bag, the probability that the white is now 2 out of 5. How many of the 10 counters that Cliff put into the bag are white? So now we know the probability of white is, I can't write with white. So 2 out of 5, which is the probability of white. Therefore, 2 out of 5, we're going to times with 40, the total number of counters now, which would give us total of 16 white counters. Pablo buys some tickets to go to the theater. 3 of the tickets are for adults, the remaining tickets are for children. Each adult ticket costs 12 euros. The children's ticket each costs 30% lesser than an adult ticket. The total amount of money that Pablo pays for all the tickets is 94.80 euros. Find the number of children's ticket Pablo buys. So let's write down all the information that we know first. That's always step 1. So we know that he bought 3 adult tickets, each at 12 euros. Alright, and he spent a total of 94.80 euros. Alright, so for the adult tickets, he spent a total of 36 euros. Out of the 94.80 total euros spent, we know that 36 of it was for adult tickets, which means there would be a balance of 58.80 euros. Alright, so now time to do the ratio part of this question. We know that 12 euros, just put a line there, euros, which is one adult ticket, equals to 100%, and that 70%, which is actually 30% lesser, would equal to one child ticket. So how much is the child ticket? 70 over 100 multiplied by 12, we would get our answer of $8.40 euros. So one last step would be 58.80, which was the balance of the euros. We're going to divide that by 8.40, which would give us the answer of 7 euros. So each child ticket cost 7 euros. Pam plays netball for her school team. Here are the number of goals that she scored in the last 8 games. The number of goals are written in order of size. Alright, so that means it is in the ascending order. Alright, so 12a, find the range of numbers of goals Pam scored. So range means that the highest value minus the lowest value. Alright, so in our case right here, the highest value is 14 and the lowest is 1. Therefore 14 minus 1 would be the range of the goals Pam scored. Part B, find the median number of goals Pam scored. So the median number would mean the middle number. Okay, so middle number. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut off together like this. Alright, so equally we can cut it off. We can divide both sides, which means the middle number should be somewhere in between of here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 and 3 over here, these values, 2 plus 3, and we're going to divide that both by 2 to get the midpoint, which would be 2.5, because 2 plus 3 is 5 and 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Okay, so the mean number of goals Pam scored in the game is 5. Work out the value of x. Alright, so mean is calculated with this formula. This is what I think whenever I go for the test. Mean would equal plus everything and divide by the number of data. So in our case, plus everything divided by number of data. Number of data would be 8 games. So let's just do that. So plus all the values, divide it by number of data, which is 8 games. This would equal to 29 plus x divided by 8. And they've already given the value of the mean, which is 5. So now what we're going to do, we're going to do algebra. 29 plus x, we're going to move 8 over to the other side, which means instead of divide 8, it's going to be multiplied by 8. So 29 plus x would equal to 40 and x would equal to 40. We're going to bring the 29 over there. Negative 29, which is also minus 29, and x would equal to 11. So that is how you find the value of x, and that is the end of question 12. Question 13. The diagram shows a rectangle and an isosceles triangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is equal to the perimeter of the triangle. Find the area of the rectangle. So the key point here is isosceles. So isosceles means that this line and this line connecting to the base of the triangle equals to each other, which means that the perimeter of the triangle would equal to 28 centimeters. This is the perimeter. Let me just write it outside. It's not the area. Okay, so we know that the perimeter of both the shapes equal to each other. And we know that since this is a rectangle, this line over here would be 5 centimeters, which means 28 we're gonna minus off 10, because 5 and 5 would equal to 10, which means we get a balance of 18 centimeters. And 18 centimeters we're going to divide it by 2, because it is a rectangle and both of these lines would equal to each other. This would give us 9 centimeter. Therefore our area of the rectangle is going to be 5 times 9, which is 45 centimeter cubed. Sorry, 45 centimeter squared. For part B, the diagram shows a cuboid. So we have finally reached 3D shapes. What am I doing? Sorry. 3D shapes. The volume of the cuboid is 231 centimeter cubed. Calculate the value of W. So to find the volume, our formula for this particular shape would be 7 centimeters times W centimeters times 6 centimeters, and this would be given as 231 centimeters cubed. What we're going to do is we're going to keep the W to one side and move the rest of the values to the other across the equals to sign. So W would equal to 231 divided by 7 times 6. Now W is going to equal 5.5. Right, so don't forget your centimeters. Okay, question number 14. Work out the value of this and give your answer as a decimal. Write down all the figures on your calculator display. So basically you're going to do the whole thing on your calculator. Well, let me just make it a little bit more easier. Let me just write down what are the things that you are supposed to type onto your calculator. So it's going to be brackets 9 divided by 12.4 close brackets plus open brackets. We're going to open two brackets, 5.3 multiplied by 2.8 close bracket divided by 9.6 close bracket, and hit the equals to sign. You will get a really long number, which is 2.265225539. Right, so part B, write your answer of part A correct to 3 significant figures. So 3 significant figures is gonna be, since this is 5, we're gonna round off 6 into 7. Therefore our answer is going to be 2.27. Let me just erase this and write it back nicely. Alright, so now we go on to question 15. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so question 15. A is odd numbers, B is multiples of 5. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to write in all the odd numbers into A and the multiples of 5 into B first. Then what we're going to do, we're going to write in the middle what are the numbers that both side A and B have together. So in this is 5 and 15. Alright, we can take these both out. Alright, so then the rest of the numbers we are going to write outside of the circles. Right, so there you go. Question 15, the Venn diagram is completed. Question 16. Last season, the number of goals scored by Arjun, Simon and Kat for their football team were in the ratios of 2:5:8. Simon scored 12 more goals than Arjun. Work out the number of goals scored by Kat. So we're gonna put Arjun is to Simon is to Kat. We are going to put their goal ratios. 2x is to 5x is to 8x, where x is the common factor. Alright, okay, so what do we know from this is that Simon, which is 5x, scored 12 more goals compared to Arjun. Okay, so we're going to solve for x. We're going to bring the x all to one side. Alright, so x will be 12 over 3, which is 4. And when x is 4, we can find out what is Kat's goal, which is 8x. 8 times 4, 32 goals in total. Right, so we just write 32 over here.